Graffiti is one of the purest forms of communication. It is produced by and for the streets and strangers. The messages shared between the artist and the people who pass it by are unfiltered and unedited, so that it forces itself on us whether we want it or not, confronting us with the pure truth of the city. Because of the legal issues surrounding its creation, the art form is proving to be somewhat controversial. Peter Drew, an internationally acclaimed Australian street artist and student at Glasgow School of Art, is all too familiar with that.
Soon after I started at the Glasgow School of Art, I began a project using emoticons and a Hamlet type character to recreate a soliloquy from Hamlet in 16 parts. So there'd be 16 pieces, and once you put them all together, it recreates the soliloquy. But they're all separated across the city.
Peter was well underway with a project producing artwork of an extremely high quality when the authorities within the School of Art brought his project to a standstill, insisting that he was breaking the law with his art. Detective Andrew Shields shed some light on the matter, explaining the rules and regulations behind the story.
Graffitiing is vandalism, so it is against the law unless it's done legally. It has been and continues to be a priority for ourselves and Police Scotland, and that is ultimately because the public and our stakeholders decree that it's not something that they want in their society.
It was discovered, however, that the justification for bringing the project to a close was not warranted at all. In hindsight, the disruption was brought on not by the police authorities, but by the art school itself.
I'd been published in the newspaper saying that this was my work. I hadn't been contacted by any property owner or the Glasgow City Council. There was really no conflict except the sort of perceived potential of conflict in my program leader at the Glasgow School of Art.
However, it made little sense that the art school would allow Peter to travel so far from his home in Australia to take up residency in Glasgow when they were well aware of his contentious style of art.
To be honest, I felt embarrassed by the school's position because I thought that it was just untenable. I did feel it was unfair. There was a little while there when I thought, really I was being threatened with being kicked out of the course, which I'd paid a lot for and come a long way to study. So yeah, it made me feel pretty small, to be honest, and I really wanted to figure out a way that I didn't have to sort of limit my artistic input. I mean, that's not what people come to an art school to experience. They come to an art school to feel supported, nurtured, and improved. And I felt like I was being made to sort of pack it in, basically.
This really accentuates how controversial graffiti is, as the reputable art school went as far as to jeopardise a fellow student's work and education. Despite several attempts to contact Peter's programme leader, we were unable to get her view on the matter. On the plus side, there are those within the school who are slightly more open-minded.
It's not within my area, and it is just something that I'd read in the press, so I don't know the full story in that sense. But certainly, we have a lot of students that are out doing work in the public, and we advise them and train them in relation to how to go about doing that, and where and when they need to seek permissions, and how they deal with that, and how they deal with the kind of health and safety aspects of it. So that's all built into what it is that we do. So if any of my students have difficulties in that way, then I think that it'd be quite right for us to get behind them and get behind the art.
While it appears that graffiti art is becoming more acceptable in certain areas, it still causes total upheaval. This so-called vandalism has made artists such as Banksy multi-millionaires. Contrast this with a local artist wishing to remain anonymous because he is concerned he might be pursued by the authorities. It is clear that there are those who feel that this system is unjust.
One of my friends from here about 5 years ago, he got sent to jail for doing graffiti. Guy was at university, he was working full time, his company were putting him through university, paying his way. He was a carer for his sick mum, and they took him away from all this, put him in jail. I remember a friend of mine from Germany telling me he read about it in a Swiss newspaper, and on the other page was an article about Elton John was commissioning Banksy to paint his apartment.
Artists such as Peter and Acme have to succumb to restrictions only due to the negative connotations associated with the art form, whilst others are able to do their art freely. Even talking about graffiti is taboo.
Here we go. Wonder who these guys are.
I'm going to need to ask you to leave.
Alright.
Sorry.
No worries.
I'm not trying to be a sore backside.
No, it's cool. We're actually we're doing a film on different art, like graffiti art, obviously, as you can see. With
see even having that conversation, that kind of attracts people in for the graffiti art, and that's something that they could do with it.
Having been moved on by security staff at the location we were filming, we decided to approach members of the public for their opinion on graffiti.
I don't like it at all. Graffiti and litter are the two biggest bugbears in the city, so it's good to stop it.
I don't like graffiti at all. Yeah. Well, except perhaps the odd expensive one that they sell in New York, but no. Yeah, generally no. Brilliant. Okay.
Could this negative image change? For the 2014 Commonwealth Games, several street artists were commissioned to do murals all over Glasgow to promote the Games. Projects like this not only promote the Games, but also public art, as it shows the more positive side of graffiti. We spoke to Ben Spencer, a producer at Velocity, who alongside Glasgow 2014 was involved in the Commonwealth Games Murals project. We asked him about the unusual way of promoting the Games.
Alongside billboards, alongside more traditional forms of advertising, they decided that actually by painting the murals it added to that, but in a slightly maybe slightly less commercial way, and something that actually maybe was more imaginative and actually captured the public's kind of attention. I think people have been really excited by it, and they do think it's a good thing.
In fact, the public seemed enthusiastic about the idea of murals in the city.
This one and the one next to it's a good idea, yeah, and it stopped the other graffiti people coming and spoiling them.
That's the first time I've seen them, but I really like them. I think they're really cool. I recognise a couple of the faces on them. It's a bit different, so I like it, yeah.
I think they're brilliant.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I do. They really liven the place up. I think they're great.
I think it's not graffiti, I think it's art. It's more art than it's graffiti, I'd say.
This used to be just all graffiti and rubbish, but I think it's a really nice way to make use of the space. I'll put it everywhere if you can.
It is clear that there is a disconnect between commissioned street art and illegal graffiti. What people don't realise is that they are one and the same. Graffiti shouldn't be discriminated against only because of its illegal nature.
I'm a graffiti artist, and I think graffiti is one of the truest forms of art. Some people are just against it because it's not restricted to galleries and homes, you can do graffiti anywhere, so of course it's going to stir a lot of negativity if somebody doesn't want some graffiti on their property. Some people are against it, but you can't change the fact that it is art, definitely, without a doubt.
At what point does graffiti become legitimate and not something that is restricted?
Some street art is vandalism. In legal terms, it's marking another person's property without their permission, and in a legal sense, that is vandalism. What I would say is that that's not always a bad thing. It's a form of communication, and sometimes marking another person's property, even though you don't have their permission, it can improve public space for everyone. It's a good thing, I think, for city councils, property owners, cities in general, just to at least open up to that possibility that uncommissioned public art can be a good thing, and it's good because it is uncommissioned, because that person didn't ask for permission, and it shows everyone else that public space is owned by everybody.